what I'd like to do is introduce myself. And for those people who watch this later, hopefully this is helpful. At least it'll give you a chance to see the faces of those who perhaps you've seen names. And it's nice to put a name to a face, which is a really wonderful thing to be able to do. So I'll start with introducing myself, and then we can go through each of the other panelists who are here. Then we'll follow that up with some questions that were sent in as part of the registration, and then we can open it up to attendees who have additional questions, and we can go from there and see where we all end up. So my name is Tim Richards, and I'm one of the undergraduate program directors who, and also one of the teaching faculty. So two places where you're going to see me is certainly events such as these, and you'll also see my name kind of attached to various emails. I work a lot on making the undergraduate computer science program better for everyone, as well as make lots of decisions about courses and transfer courses and all sorts of wonderful things like that. But even more fun that I have as part of my job is teaching lots of courses. And it's for sure that you are very likely to be in one of my classes in the future. I teach data structures over the summer. I teach web programming. I teach the computer systems course. I teach operating systems. I teach a new course called Scalable Web Systems. And I'm going to be teaching a new informatics course actually in the spring called Info 121. So that's a little bit about me. I'm assuming the panelists can kind of see the ordering of people in the panelist list. And so we can go down, and if you'd all just introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about what you do and where people might see your name. So Alicia, I think you're up next.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Alicia Clementi, and I'm the Director of Advising at CICS. And if you are a new first-year student, you've almost certainly heard from me before, but I help work with all the advisors that you've met already and who will be helping you throughout your time at CICS.
Ben, you're up next.
Right. Hi, my name is Ben Marlin. I'm a professor in the department. I was honors program director for about 6 years, and as of last spring, switched over to help out direct the undergrad program along with Tim Richards.
Okay, let's see. Dale.
Hello there. My name's Dale Osef. I use he, him pronouns, and I am the Assistant Director of Career Development. So you will be seeing a lot of me over direct Zoom appointments, which can be booked through Handshake. And you'll be seeing me at events like today's Tech and Internship Fair. So we put on a lot of different events and have a lot of fun in CICS careers with Brian, our director. So it's me. Nice to meet everybody.
Great. Thank you, Dale. Darlene.
Hi, my name is Darlene Fahey, and I'm the undergraduate program manager, and I essentially support Tim and Ben in the endeavors of, having our program run smoothly and whatever else is needed. But we're here to help you, and we're glad that you're here. We're glad that you came to UMass and to computer science, and we look forward to your next 4 years here at UMass, and welcome.
Wonderful, thank you, Darlene. Dave. I see you're, there you are. Okay.
Sorry for being late. My name is David Mix-Barrington. I am a professor and I'm the Associate Chair for Academic Programs. So what that means is, along with teaching my own classes, I have some influence on what goes on with other people's classes. I help make teaching assignments. I help Emma with teaching assistant UCA assignments, and issues with how courses are being taught come to me. various things like that. I also know many of you from advising for the summer. I did a lot of summer advising, and I recognize some of the names in the attendees list from I met you there. I'm still available. There's lots of sources of advising. I'm just one of the many sources of advising in the department.
Excellent.
Sure. Thank you.
Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I think that's all I immediately have to say.
Okay,
I'll
wonderful.
tell my wife that someone likes the tapestry back in behind.
Beautiful.
And you can see I don't have no puppy dog back there right now, but there could be puppy dogs popping into my view at any time here.
Emma.
Hi, my name is, excuse me. Hi, my name is Emma Anderson, and I am the Director of Inclusive Education and Teaching Support. So you're going to hear from me regarding anything relating to UCAs or TAs. I also teach the 298A Leadership Practicum course, which is the required course for all new UCAs, that you can take it before you become a UCA. I also will write to you about mentorship, and I also work in the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, so I work on some events related to that. And I run the first year seminar program. So if you're in a first year seminar and you have questions about it, feel free to ask me.
Great, thank you. Erica.
Hello, my name is Erica Lynn Dawson Head, and I'm the Director of Diversity and Inclusive Community Development. You will get, my pronouns are she, her, hers, and you will get information from me on a lot of different things. For example, we just sent it out. We didn't send it out to the undergraduates through email, but we sent it out through other means that we were going to have Grace Hopper tickets and Tapia tickets. We did have a bunch of people that signed up, and that's one thing that we send out. We also send out upcoming events that we're having and holding. For example, we had an art story with Jaime de Villa, and it was amazing. It was so good. And events like that, you'll find those types of things come out of our office currently. We have Ruha Benjamin book discussion group and White Fragility book discussion group that's going to come out of my office. So a lot of times you'll see things like that come out of my office, but my office also is it's a place of refuge, and it's a place where you can find a friend, right? Anytime you need a friend, right? Look, I just found a friend right in my screen. See, I find friends. So feel free to just reach out to me if you have any problems, have any concerns. We're here to help, and we are here to be a great partner in your education. Welcome to CICS. We're glad to have you here.
Great, thank you, Erica. Philip.
Yes, hello. So I'm Philip Thomas. I'm a professor in computer science, and I'm also the honors program director. And that means that if you're in the honors college and you're thinking about departmental honors, maybe down the road, you've probably seen that the first 2 years are general studies, and then after that, in the second 2 years of advanced studies, you'd have the option of departmental or multidisciplinary honors. If you're thinking about departmental, then I'll be in contact with you to set up kind of an information session to give you more information. But at any point, if you have any questions about the honors program, feel free to send me an email. I also, in my welcome video, said that I was going to teach 383 in the spring, and maybe I'd see some folks there. That has changed, so I'm not sure what I'll be teaching in the spring. But hopefully I will get to interact with some of you, perhaps this spring, perhaps next academic year.
Wonderful, thank you, Philip. Okay, so I believe that's all of the panelists. If I missed anyone, let me know. This list seems to move around and shift itself, I guess, when people are talking. I'm not sure why, so it makes it a little confusing. Anyways, I just want to follow up with what everyone said. We are really excited to have you part of the CICS and CS community. And although this year is, or at least this semester is slightly different or unusual in that we're remote, one thing that I think everyone is expressing here is that we are really working to ensure that you find a place here at UMass and certainly in CICS, and that there are lots of people here who are really excited to work with you and help you in all the things that you encounter, and that you should feel very comfortable in reaching out. And that's really important. Oh, great, we got another attendee. Wow, 8, excellent. So as I mentioned at the beginning, this is recorded. So if you happen to be watching this at a later point in time, that's absolutely wonderful. And for those who are here, I'm going to go through some questions that have come in, and I'm going to kind of open it up to everyone on the panel to provide some input from these questions, and then we kind of open it up. And I believe you should be able to, I guess, raise a hand or something. I'm not really sure how it'll work, but we'll figure that out when it happens. And it would be great to hear your voice. If you're uncomfortable with speaking, do feel free to. I think you probably can put something in the chat. So feel free to ask questions there. Oh yes, the raise hand functionality, I guess, in Zoom is available, so we can work with that as well. Okay, so let's start off with some of these questions, and this is deliberately informal. We didn't want to bore you with yet another presentation on Zoom, so we just like to talk, and that is not a problem for most of us, including me. So I should stop talking and move on. So we had some questions come in, and I'm going to start off with, I believe Dale has only a limited amount of time. And so I want to start off with how can undergrads get involved in remote internships? And so I don't know, Dale, if you have some comments about that might be helpful to answer, provide some feedback for this question.
Sure, happy to. So that's a great question. I like to talk too, so I'll keep it short. There are plenty of opportunities to get involved with remote internships in both the spring and the summer. What I would suggest is first is setting up an appointment with me or Brian, our director, or any of our 8 career developers. You can find that. I'll put the link to Handshake in the chat in just a moment. But we have our tech internships fair today, actually, and you're more than welcome to register for that, check it out, and meet with any employers in drop-in rooms, or you can even schedule a one-on-one meeting with an employer if you're feeling comfortable with that. So never too late for that. And we had at least half our team, half our student team doing virtual remote internships last summer. So it certainly can be done. We also have a Slack community. So if you want to join that, I'll also put that link in the chat in a minute if you're not already on there. And we have 2 channels that we call Hot Jobs and Hot Internships. And we share those daily. So that's also a really good way to find what's available. And we also do consultations on LinkedIn and job searching and using Handshake and all of those things. So
Dale, is that the Kix Careers Slack?
Yes, correct. Yep.
Which many people are already on, but people know about.
Yep. Sorry about my cat here. But yeah, I hope that answers the question. We have, there are many opportunities and we're happy to address and share them with you directly, but we also have our CICS Careers Slack channel, which is a great place to interact with us too. So thank you.
Dale, I actually have like a follow-up kind of question that I'm wondering that if some students are curious about, what the process is like. There's a lot of probably newer students here, first-year students. I'm curious what the process is for getting involved in an internship. What do they need to do?
Sure. So we have a couple of options. We're going to open up, since winter break is quite long, we're going to try to open up a new research volunteer program in the winter. So there's a whole channel on that on Slack. I did want to plug that as well. But as far as the process goes, a lot of it has to do with us, helping you prioritize your job search and get all set on that. But the process is quite like what you would experience for an in-person internship. So you would research the company. I would definitely recommend narrowing down your search to companies that excite you and that seem important to you, and that you feel like you would be a good fit for, and tailoring your resume to those companies as well. That's probably another good place to start if you're a first-year student and don't have a resume at all, or if you have one that you'd like to improve. So with that sort of sequence, we can definitely help you get in very strong applications to virtual internships. And like I said, some are available for the spring, and then some are available for the summer, but this is kind of the hot recruiting season right now. So I definitely hope that you'll reach out to us directly.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dale.
Thank you.
There was one post in the Q&A chat. I joined late, so I'm wondering if we'll be sent the recording. My guess is we will probably send you a link to the recording, and most certainly have it posted on the website that we had sent out with the other pre-recorded videos. So you'll be able to see that at your leisure if you've come in late. So let's move on to another question that was asked. And of course, feel free to keep asking questions in the chat window, or raise your hand. Hopefully I see that. There's like a million windows open here. Another question that came in was, are there any particular courses or programs in computer science that's for game design or computer animation? That's a really good question. I think a lot of people ask that question. I do not know if we have we don't have a game track or a sequence of courses. Do we have any courses that involve game or computer animation? Does anyone know this?
We have a course called Game Programming,
Okay.
500 level course. Vangelis teaches it. And there are some other types of courses that maybe kind of go along in that area, but I'm not that familiar with all those ins and outs of content.
Okay, great.
I
There's
can jump
animation
in.
courses in the art department.
Yeah.
That some
Yeah,
people
that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
So Dave.
Yeah, so there are courses in the art department that, okay, there's a link to that game design course there. So that's a great question. Hopefully that answered that question for you. Another question is, how can I find opportunities outside of classes to practice coding? So does anyone have any thoughts about that? Go ahead, Dale.
Okay, yeah, I could definitely address that. We have worked on a project called Teach, Learn, Lead, which helps folks get involved in the community, giving back for coding. And there are programs like Girls Who Code, and programs that are in the local area, helping underserved youth. And there are lots of resources on the CICS Careers website that I can point you to as well for coding outside of the classroom. But we also encourage contribution to open source projects. There are opportunities for freelancing that are paid, which is exciting. So plenty of opportunities, whether it's volunteer or to make a few extra dollars on the side. Yeah, lots of opportunities. So be happy to connect you to those.
Anyone else want to comment on that question? Thanks, Dale. Dave.
Sure. Another thing to think about is if there's a problem in your daily life that could be solved by coding. There's lots of times, like You used to be like organizing your record collection back when we had records. That might be something you might, if you wanted to have track of all the records that you had in your thing, or if you say all the books you have in your house. That would be something if I wanted to know what are the books in my house, what rooms are they in? Creating a database of some sort to do that is something you would think about. What kind of classes and objects would I want to do coding like that? If you can, as you become more of a programmer, part of becoming more of a programmer is being able to see situations where a computer is useful and recognize them, and recognizing what you can do and when what you can do in coding is actually going to can affect your life positively.
Yeah, that's a great point. And one comment I'd like to make is that it's never too early to start doing these types of independent projects, or even collaborating with other students in classes that you're taking. So it's often very useful to interact with others in your classes, and from there just kind of pose some problems and see what you can do. I've talked to a number of students this past week who are doing exactly that, who are working on other types of projects to learn a new programming language, or to learn how to use a database, or to learn various things about the web, etc. And in fact, a week or two ago, an email was sent from a student who is a first-year student who is thinking about exactly the type of thing that Dave was just mentioning, trying to build an application that would allow students to share their social handles for all the different social media platforms. And so there's lots of opportunity, and lots of opportunity to be creative. Great. Anyone else? Yeah.
Just one reason that is such a great question, and why I commend the person who asked that question, is when someone comes and says they want to do research with me, what's much more interesting to me than what courses they've taken, what grades have they gotten, is what kind of initiative have you shown? What kind of things have you built? What did you decide to do and prove you could do? And I'm sure Dale would back me up that that's the kind of thing that employers are looking for. They're much more, rather than I went into this class and I got an A in what they told me to do. If you said I saw this need to do for a program to do this and I went and wrote it, that's what any employer is looking for in their employee typically.
Yeah, that's a great, it's a great question. That is absolutely a great response. It's so true. I think a lot of the opportunity, and these are tying into questions about internships. You know, when you're showing initiative and you're doing more to educate yourself in various ways, it gets you involved. And so it shows that you're doing a lot more than just taking courses. Of course, it's important, but what you're doing makes you shine as compared to others. And funny enough, usually when we have this presentation in person, it's very much about meeting those people around you and looking around you and who's around you and making sure to get involved. And you can still do that. So don't by any means think that just because you're sitting at your house or wherever it might be, watching another Zoom doesn't mean that you can't interact. You should interact, get involved. It's going to really help you, and it'll help you feel part of that community, which is really important. So even, yeah, Erica.
Just to add in there a quick piece, student leadership. There's a lot of different student organizations that are around that are actually working on projects, and that's where you're going to find your project family. The people that are like, hey, let's just sit here and do this, and let's do it together. And you can and the good thing about working in a team like that is that you can correct each other. You can help each other to learn. And it helps you to learn how to work in a group a lot better and to have that backup when you need it in some of your other classes to help support you. So think about things. I mean, there's Hacker 413, there's Hack UMass, there's all these different organizations built, and it goes on and on. There's there's so many. Just think about joining some of these organizations so that you can have that network, so that you can have people that are going to support you throughout your education, not just making, it's great. You're going to have the coding and they will help you to build those projects. And they're going to be the people that you're going to go to help you through all the other stuff that you have to get through to be successful.
Yeah, great, Erica. Thanks. That's a really good point. There are a bunch of organizations. Ben just posted a link. I mean, does this chat get recorded as part of watching this back? Is it accessible? Because I'd like to be able to share these links with students afterwards.
Yes, we're going to send the links to Carrie's team post-meeting, and we will take care of that.
Awesome. Great. And so even to follow up on what Erica just mentioned about Hack UMass, there was another question that was asked: how does Hack UMass and LH work, and how do I get started? In fact, somewhere I have these links to both of these organizations, which I can post. hackumass.com. They have a 2020 update right now, which they're like figuring out how to proceed with in the COVID-19 situation. Let me see. Let's see. There's that link there. Then you have the Major League Hacking website, which is this right here. Hopefully everyone can see that. So the best way to get involved in these sorts of things, how to get started is the question, is go to these websites, look at what's going on with all the MLH hackathons around the area, and they're just dying to have you come and participate virtually or eventually in person. Get involved with those. It only takes looking at a website and then sending out some information or registering, and it's a fantastic way to learn more about creating projects, solving problems, and also interacting with other people from different institutions. And what I've heard from a number of students is that they've made really best friends from different places where they're all collaborating on other projects. So it kind of grows from there. And that's an important thing. Anyone else want to comment on the hackathons? Yeah, Erica.
Just to give you heads up, if you go to see the career developers, half of them are hackathon people. In Brian's office, I hate to say walk through because nobody's walking through right now, but you cyber through. His career developers, half of them, 90% of them can connect you to any group on campus that you want to be connected to. Another way that you can get connected is through Brian. Brian actually advises some of these groups. Ray Wang, who is one of our faculty, is also the advisor for Hack UMass. I can actually probably get you in contact with someone from Hack UMass if that's something that you wanted to do. And I know that for Hack Her 413 and a bunch of other groups, I'm one of the advisors for CS Women, all these other things. Emma is also tuned in to all of the groups that are on campus. There's a lot of different passageways that you can get there because I think that Fresh Kicks is Alicia. So if you wanted to be involved in that group, you can contact Alicia. I mean, there's a lot of different passageways there. All you have to do is just take the initiative and say, hey, I want to do this. And I'm telling you, you got any problems, go see Brian's group. They have a lot of students that are all student leaders. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, absolutely. About Fresh Kicks, does anyone want to comment on that? Are all students put on that, or is that something that you have to join yourself? I'm not really sure.
So all students are on the Fresh Kicks Piazza and should have received notices about that in their email and be able to join at any time. There are 4 subcommittees for Fresh Kicks, and so there are 4 student leaders that are running it right now, but I certainly am able to put you in touch if you don't know how to get on there or see the announcements and that sort of thing.
Wonderful. Thank you. So this is the last of the submitted questions that I'm going to ask, and then we can open it up for additional questions. Again, at any point in time, feel free to add something in the chat.
Hey, Tim.
Yes.
I know that Dale might have to leave a little bit early, and there's a question in the Q&A that's like a little bit urgent for people wanting to attend the internship fair today. Could we skip to that one first? Because
sure. Where is this? It's in some chat somewhere.
So this is in the Q&A, and somebody asked, is it beneficial for first-year students to attend the tech fairs?
Oh, okay.
If yes, what exactly should they talk about with the employers?
Hi there. So I'm going to try and stick around for the full hour, but to answer that question, yeah, it's a great way to gain information. A lot of our employers are hosting one-on-one meetings, which several have booked up, but they will also be hosting drop-in rooms, which are kind of an informal, easy way to just get information about different organizations and what they're hiring for and what exactly they do, and with whom you should follow up. So I'll put the link to register in the chat, and would definitely encourage you to check it out. I think particularly at this moment, the drop-in rooms would be quite helpful. So I'll go ahead and do that.
Dale, is it okay to go and just listen in a drop-in room?
Yes, that's actually pretty much the intention. Is it's an information session. You can definitely go and just listen. Some of them are small, and you can have a somewhat direct conversation with the recruiter if you have particular questions about the company. But if you just want to stand by and listen, you're more than welcome to do that too. And the rooms are capped at 50 students. So if you jump into a big room with 45 students, I think listening would be your best option there.
Dale, we have another question for you. Is it possible for international students who haven't officially entered the USA yet to get internships in the summer?
Yes, it is. Actually, we encourage all of our international students to attend. We had several yesterday for our full-time job fair. Today is the internship fair. But to answer that question shortly, yes, there's a process called CPT, Clinical Practical Training, I believe that stands for. And once you're here on campus and you secure an internship for the summer as an international student, you're more than welcome, and I say here on campus, I mean here on Zoom. You're more than welcome to connect with us, and there are various opportunities. And on the tech fair, you'll be able to filter who hires CPT, and we can also make that or we can help you with that in appointments as well and direct you to the right employers.
Wow, I wish I had that when I was in college. That's fantastic. Yeah, you guys do such an amazing job. Wonderful. Okay, so the last question in the anonymized submitted questions was, while communicating with a peer, when do you know a connection has been made, or what are connections and how can they be made? Anyone want to take a stab at answering that question? Emma.
I could start, and I'm sure all of you have like things to add as well. I think especially now that we're kind of making connections virtually, it can be really hard to figure out like how do you make a friend? How do you make a connection with someone? But I would first say to like really reach out to people. Reach out to people in your classes, reach out to people that you see on calls with student organizations, people in Fresh Kicks. You can also get a peer mentor if you're a first-year student. If you're not a first-year student, you can be a peer mentor, and that's a great way to make a one-on-one connection. And if you haven't seen that form link, let me know, and I'm happy to share it with you. But I'd also say, think about consent when you're thinking about connections with people. So if you're not sure what your connection is like with someone, ask them. Like, hey, do you want to play a game online with me? Would you like to do this, that, or the other thing together? Do you want to study on Zoom together? And someone can say yes, or they can say no, and then you'll know. It's great when you ask somebody for what you're interested in terms of connection. And we hope that you make lots of connections, but it's tough right now. So you have to be a little bit creative. That someone asked the other day in a first year seminar I was in, whether she should make friends now or wait until you're on campus. And I say now is always the time. Try and connect with people no matter where they are. And find things and find time to do sort of direct connecting activities like Netflix watch parties, or Board Game Arena is like a free online platform to play board games together, or just chatting in Discord or wherever you chat.
Great answer. Yeah, Dale.
Just a quick plug. Yeah, please keep a lookout on the events page. We're going to start hosting student game nights as well, so that'll be fun.
Alicia, thanks, Dan.
Yeah, so I think here is where I should give a little plug for Fresh Kicks, because this is exactly what this group is for, to make social connections, and they're always looking for ideas. They're going to be hosting game nights, a lot of things. They have their first event coming up tomorrow night. It's Friday, yes. So it is a good place to start meeting people and just learning more about your community.
Thank you. Erica?
So in the land of shameless plugs, I'm definitely going to say something also. We're going to have a Making Connections group. It's a CICS undergraduate, so it's encompassing of undergraduates. It's a Making Connections group, and it's going to be in collaboration with CCPH. They're going to be facilitating the group for me so that I can have one less group to maybe facilitate. And they're going to be holding a number of sessions that are going to be open for undergraduate students where you can make connections. So, and I'm not saying choose one of these. I'm saying do multiple things. Step outside your box. Don't be afraid. You know what? Sometimes you have to be able to be vulnerable at sometimes in order to make a difference in your life. That vulnerability and that uncomfortability, I promise you, it's going to go away. It's going to go away little by little. And it's about being able to have the courage to step outside of your box and try something new. But we will have a Making Connections program. I don't know how it'll be sent out in the newsletter. I hope you guys catch on to it. And we'll see what we can do to try to get things a little bit easier. The thing is that it'd be great to have some feedbacks from some of the undergraduate students as to the best way to reach you. Because we have some wonderful things. Alicia does. Emma's has mentoring things. I mean, career services has all these things, but we want to make sure that you're able to take advantage of it. So feel free to drop a line to any of us, and let us know the best way that we can reach you as a student, because we want to make sure that you stay informed, because you are part of our family. You're done now. You're stuck. You're ours.
Tim, we have another question. As freshmen, where to go? As freshmen, Alicia actually answered it. Sorry.
Well, no, please read it though. I'm sorry that I answered it, so I erased it. But it's, as freshmen, what should we prioritize more, our classes or side projects? So all I said in my answer was that you really need to find a balance. I mean, you certainly don't want to be so focused on your side projects that you're not performing well in your classes by any means, but those side projects can really enhance your experience at CICS and in your life. But I'm sure other people have other answers.
Yeah, Erica, thanks, Alicia.
Your first priority at CICS UMass Amherst is to do well in your classes. That is why you are here. It's great. You are going to have your side projects. If you can't manage everything at the same time, don't worry about it. You're going to have time. You have a lifetime. After you graduate, you could do a lot of that stuff. But your number one priority is to do well in your classes. I tell that to all of my student workers, anyone that walks in front of me, there is no question about it. We want you to do well in your classes. And if you aren't doing well, you need to start reaching out to faculty. There's that step. Start reaching out to faculty. Hey, I'm not doing so well in this class. Can we talk about it? Can you support me? Can you help me out? They'll send you in a direction. Reach out to your TAs. Reach out to Alicia. Reach out to Emma. Reach out to all of these people. Anybody you can reach out to. Say, Erica's too scary. She kind of gets in the screen a lot. You don't have to come to me. Tim Richards sits really nice in the chair. You know what I mean? And patients, anyone on this screen will literally be there to help you. Anyone at all. We all are on this screen because we care. And your number one priority is your school and to make sure that you're doing your schoolwork so you could be successful. My priority is to make you a graduate. I want you as an alumni. So we're going to work on that. No question about it. But we do like the side jobs. They're nice. The side projects.
I want to put in a shameless plug for peer tutoring. So if you are struggling in a class, we have peer tutoring available that is 100% free. So hopefully your professors, these are just for CS courses. Hopefully your professors have posted links to how you sign up for that tutoring. Your advisors also know about it and can direct you to it. And I see that Alicia wrote in the chat, reach out to your advisors anytime you're having problems. So like there's a whole net to catch you. If you feel like you're falling, we want to know about it. All of us, particularly your advisor, but there's a lot of supports around for you.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We have another question, but I just want to follow briefly in saying that at times things can become overwhelming, and that is completely normal. We all do. So don't feel like you're the only one, because you're absolutely, most definitely 100% not. Everyone needs help balancing things out and to get feedback. And so feel free to follow up with someone, and you're not the only one. So yeah, Darlene.
I just wanted to put in a plug for the Bay State program. So just to go along with, doing well in your classes, I'll share that link as well. So it's a program for the master's program where students can enter the master's program on scholarship, fellowship, what have you. So please read that. That's important. So you do well in your classes to align yourself with an opportunity to continue your education.
Thank you. So we have another question. What's the difference between peer tutoring and LRC tutoring?
Yes. So the LRC, the Learning Resource Center at the library, provides 3 types of tutoring. They have supplemental instruction for some classes. That's a former student reteaching the content. They have Excel tutoring, which is group tutoring, and that's a drop-in thing. And then they also offer one-on-one tutoring. I don't know how available the one-on-one tutoring is, but there's a separate program inside CICS that I run through my 298A leadership practicum class. These are students who want to be UCAs, undergraduate course assistants, who have taken the courses that they're going to be tutoring for. I'm going to put the link in the chat to sign up for a tutoring slot. So this is for all 100 and 200 level courses in CS. And for faculty, I'm taking requests if you think that your class needs tutoring. Yeah, so both the LRC and CICS tutoring can get you the same kinds of things. Sometimes one will be faster than another. depending on when your need is and what your need is. But at this point, they're all virtual. So I hope that answers the question.
Wonderful. Thank you, Emma. So we're almost at the end of our time here. I had posted in the chat too, if you have any questions, ask them now while we're here. But of course, we're always available to answer any questions at any time that you might have, because questions come up and answers are important to those questions. So I'll give people a moment to do that. Is there anything from anyone on the panel that would like to say anything before we depart? Dale, yeah, okay.
Yep, just one more shameless plug here for me. We have our undergrad and CICS partner mixer, which is with several of our top employers, including Amazon, Liberty Mutual, a quite large variety. And I put the link in the chat up there. These will be all drop-in rooms run through the same software as the tech fair. And it's a really good way to get information. You'll be interacting with recruiters, alums. So a lot of different ways to gain information if you can't make it to the tech fair, or if you'd like to follow up with what you learned at the tech fair as well. So I would certainly encourage joining that as well.
Wonderful. We have 2 remaining questions. What if you are a junior transfer student and not a freshman who attend UMass Amherst for the first time? Will we get the same benefit as a freshman student? Absolutely. Absolutely. Whether you are starting out as a first-year student or coming in as a third-year student, or whatever pathway you're coming into UMass and CICS, you have absolutely the same support as anyone else does, and can feel free to reach out to anyone in all of that we've talked about today. It's not just for people who are starting as a first-year student. It's for all of you, anyone. And a last question, just to clarify, we contact Brian, who is on Slack, for more information on Hack UMass, right? Anyone want to answer that? I think there are lots of ways of getting information about Hack UMass and other things.
Yeah, Hack UMass is linked from the student org page, so you can definitely get to it from there, or Google search. Again, I think they're in a little bit of flux right now, trying to figure out what to do for this year specifically. Things are still remote. So I think there's going to be some activities around Hack UMass, but not necessarily definitely not the large in-person hackathon that usually happens for now. So I think there's lots of ways to find out some more information about what's going on there.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, so
and Ray Wang is the advisor for Hack UMass from CICS.
Who is? Sorry,
Ray Wang.
Oh, Ray, yeah, Ray Wang.
RUI is spelled.
So hopefully you found this useful to those of you who are here, and for those of you who are watching this later, hopefully this was helpful. And do remember that we're here for all of you, and we want you to come to us when you have questions, and feel free to reach out to everyone. Just interact, and it's going to make everything a much more wonderful experience for you. So thank you everyone on the panel for joining.